ahead and get started with Georgia Tech head coach Geoff Collins. Coach, if you could open us up with a statement before we take questions.
Yeah, obviously, I just talked to the team. 10 penalties and 2 block punts, even against you're playing a caliber team like that. That's not a recipe to win the game. So obviously we've got to clean those things up. The penalties, the block punts, the attitude, the demeanor, the response, disappointment, hurt. From me, obviously, as a leader of the program, take great responsibility in getting the things cleaned up. And the biggest piece too, and I just told the guys, is it's a 5-day week right now. We got a 5-day week to put this game to bed and start on the next opponent. And so we've got a lot of work to do to clean those things up and just go from there.
Okay, questions? If you could, please take a microphone, raise your hand. We'll start right here with Rod.
Rod.
Hey, Geoff, when Charlie Thomas went out of the game,
Sure.
he had 9 tackles in a little over half.
Yep.
Score was 14-10. It seemed like the defense did not get any stops after that.
Gotcha. We think very highly of Charlie Thomas in this program, and playmaking ability, leadership ability. He was very powerful in the locker room as well, and so we just gotta. Demetrius Knight came in and played his role. Really good player, but obviously when you lose a player the caliber of Charlie, that's hurts.
Over here.
Coach, coming out of halftime, offensively, that's where you guys found your stride. You got your first score of the game. What did you tell your guys at the half, and what did you feel changed for you guys to kind of lose the stride offensively?
Was actually the exact thing that we said we were going to do coming out of halftime was kick the ball off, get a 3 and out, and then drop down and score. The guys did it, and just got to consistently put together drives and not hurt ourselves. So those are things obviously we got to clean up. We spent an inordinate amount of time with crowd noise in the weeks leading up to this because we knew it was going to be a loud environment. So you go back through and try to think of all the different things we could have done to cut down with self-imposed, things that hurt us. And obviously we got to do a better job. I've got to do a better job as the head football coach, and we'll continue to learn from those things. And
Ken?
Given, I know you made a point of attention to detail and those things, what does it say that you had the penalties and the block?
I mean, it's just very, very frustrating, very disappointing, and it has been addressed, will continue to be addressed, and the guys in there are committed to doing that. So, but it falls on me, and I will work relentlessly to get that cleaned up.
Patrick?
Coach Collins, was there a pattern on the 2 block punts that you could detect?
Yeah, there's some things that we made adjustments to, and then the second one, the adjustment didn't get made. We'll get it cleaned up internally, so those kind of things will, the schematics of that we will keep in house, but they're got to get that fixed because those things cannot happen. You cannot have block kicks, block punts, those kind of things. So, very disappointing.
Kelly?
You had a lot of self-inflicted wounds on offense, some drops, and then obviously the penalties you mentioned.
Yep.
Just, is there anything you put your finger on that you saw out there, or was it just mental mistakes, or did guys just not finish?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing with the false starts is they were doing a good job of stemming and moving the front and those kind of things, and just playing those situations with poise and just staying focused, doing your assignment, listen to the snap count, to see the ball snap, all those kind of things.
Bryce?
Coach, you had your defense being put in some real difficult situations,
Sure.
block punts and things like that. Talk about a little bit of the resiliency you did see with
Sure.
a couple of big stands and getting off the field.
Yeah, I think one of the key things, I think, even though it's a very disappointing loss, and we're very upset about it and hurt, there were things to build on. So we've got to just find that balance of making sure we fix the things that have to be fixed, but also building upon the things that were good in tonight's game. But right now, nobody wants to hear that. I don't want to talk about it. Just the things that we need to clean up, we're going to work relentlessly hard to clean up. And again, we've got 5 days to get this done before we play next Saturday night, Bobby Dodd Stadium.
Time for a few more for Coach. We'll start back here in the middle.
Coach Raphael, from the three-point conversion, you just said it, you only have 5 days.
Yep.
How do you do that? I mean, how do you go about that as far as fixing the
Sure.
mistakes, but yet still focusing on West Carolina?
Yeah, so, I mean, I've been through this before, playing on short weeks. We've got the plan, we've got the schedule. Obviously, we've got tomorrow will be an off day for the guys, so we have to give them an off day, so tomorrow will be their off day. But knowing our guys, they'll come in on their own and watch the tape and start watching tape on, Western Carolina. Then we'll get to work on Wednesday when we can get officially begin the work week. But obviously, it's going to be a challenge, and we just got to rise to that challenge.
Coach in the back with Dan.
Coach, with 3 timeouts left at the end of the half and with Clemson getting the kick to start the second half, was there any thought to burning one right there and maybe trying to take a couple of shots?
There was just it was 4th and 4 right around midfield with the possibility, and there was the situation with the clock, and if you guys remember, that was like an 8-minute ordeal trying to figure out how the clock was going to be administered. There was the defensive was playing good relative to having a punt blocked and putting them in bad field position. So there was discussion, there was thought about that, but the best thing to do was to go into the half because it ended up on the 8-yard line. Wouldn't have been a lot of time anyway.
Ken, right back here.
The 3 timeouts that you used in the second half.
Sure.
The last one, with like 13:08 left, and then fourth. What prompted you having to burn those so quickly?
Yeah, so the last one, if you guys recall, it was 4th and 6, right around the 37-yard line. And in the past, right around that area, they've had a formation that they've run a trick play out of. They shifted to it, saw it, and banged the timeout, regrouped, and then they didn't run the fake after that. There was another situation earlier. We don't ever want to have a situation that could be an explosive play because we're misaligned. I saw we were misaligned, wanted to make sure that we did not have something very unfortunate happen to us during that drive, banged it, and got it corrected. So obviously you want to keep the timeouts as long as you can, but you also don't want to put yourself in harm's way if you don't have to at key points of the game.
Kelly, we'll wrap up with you.
The one thing that I thought was a positive takeaway for you guys, it was the pass rush was pretty significant. And really, DJ made 2 plays kind of out of that changed probably the momentum of the game as well, particularly the one play where he got the ball out where he was dead to rights. Just talk about what worked with the pass rush, why you feel like you guys were more effective today. That's been probably the most effective pass rush you've had.
I think, obviously the development of the players, and we've got really good players up along the defensive front and the second level defenders that we were activating in some pressures. But I thought there were some things that we dialed up that got home, and just got to make sure that we get the quarterback down and not let him scramble and do the really athletic things he's able to do, because there was 2 of them that should have been a sack, but really good players make really good plays, and those are learning experiences for the guys, to make sure we finish those plays and get the sacks when we got them dialed up.
Awesome. Coach, we'll go ahead and wrap you up. So you got you guys the players knowing that you're